Hey y'all, it's Nomadic Shaman here. Thank you for visiting my page. Um, y'all, I know I said this was going to be my last video, but I have to split this into two because I don't want my last video to be super long. So I recently got a download that I wanted to share with you. For the past 2 or 3 days, I kept on hearing a song play over a loop in my head. And one of the songs that I heard was Move That Dope by Future, Pharrell, and Pusha T. Now, the crazy thing is, I said, Spirit told me to watch the video. So I watched the video, but to my surprise, it said Move That Dope, but in my head, I was hearing Move That Dough. You know, bread, money, cheese, cheddar. Y'all understand what I'm saying. So, and Spirit said it's both. Both. So then I said, well, what is this? What is this in reference to? And they told me, as far as like the organized crime, this falls under the umbrella that's connected to the folks that are specifically responsible for doing gang stalking as it relates to me. However, this can affect other people who may be being gang stalked as well. Because with the whole organized crime thing, it's an umbrella term for so many fraudulent activities is being done in conjunction with the gang stalking campaign. Okay, so with that said, I want to share with you the downloads that I got from watching the video, as well as the downloads that I got during, before, and after. Okay, so first things first, I heard Young Nigga Move That Dough, but the song is Young Nigga Move That Dope. I kept on hearing they move that dough, they move that dough. Now, Future was saying they move that dope, they move that dope. Now, there's a part where you can hear Pusha T say, push it, push it. He either is saying push it, or push a man, which is no different than, your dealer, right? Push a man deal, right? Now, accompanied with that, I heard White Horse. Y'all know what White Horse is? Wait. White Horse. Y'all, it's an old song. But anyways, White Horse is related to cocaine. Like, y'all get what I'm saying. The white powder stuff. So I heard White Horse. I heard drugs, weapons, and children. Okay. So Pusha T, Pusha Man is trafficking drugs, trafficking weapons, trafficking children. Now, I also heard 15 and 16 years sweet spot. So anybody who's in law enforcement or who's well informed or educated when it comes to child trafficking, you guys would probably know what age range are the most targeted. Okay. Because they bid favorably, if y'all catch my drift. Okay. But I heard 15, 16 sweet spot. Now, following that, I heard Discord, Telegram, WhatsApp, and Snapchat. And it was based off of the vanishing, disappearing text feature. Now, that could either mean these very apps are being used because of the vanishing feature, or it could be that text, like burner phones, are being used and then the text messaging is being erased, as far as like the evidence of it, right? So it could either mean one of those two, but both of those can be applicable. I then wrote down double life, drones, cops, folks getting arrested, surveillance, control, loss of privacy, eye in the sky, being watched, judged, and sentencing. So what does that tell me? Folks about to be getting arrested and going to prison, because this shit ain't jail worthy. This is like prison. federal, I'm hearing federal for many. Okay. So anyways, then I heard armed forces, televised, chopping down trees. I said, Spirit, you're going to have to break this down. So then they showed me a visual of something being stuffed in trees. So people hiding shit by stuffing evidence. Well, no, this doesn't deserve quotation marks. By stuffing evidence, or let's say the stuff that they're pushing in trees. I also saw, chopping down trees and hiding shit in the trunks of the trees. So either stuffing shit in trees that have like holes, you know what I'm saying? Or chopping trees down and using the trunk, the base, as a hiding spot to store this shit. Documents, criminating evidence, things that are being pushed, okay? That's the visual that I saw. Some of the words that I'm sharing with you, bribery, fraud, theft, perjury, corruption within the government and contractors. As I was writing this down, I heard sirens in the background. Now, for me, sirens, I think of chariots and, of course, chariot cards, same thing, police. But I also think of Archangel Michael, justice, okay? Then I saw from the back a tall, average build white man who's bald, and then he was standing next to a woman who, and these people were getting handcuffed. He was standing next to a woman who was like petite, like small build, petite, blonde hair. Okay, she could be white, I don't know, but the hair was blonde and it was mid back length. Okay. Next, names. I wrote down Cameron, Jabril, Thomas, Terrence, LeVar, Jesus, Damien, Ronald, Victor, James, Ben, Cohen, Benjamin, Sandy, Sandra, Frank, Mike, Michael, William, Quincy, Matthew, Tyler, Taylor, Ronald, Gregory, Pablo, Tyrell. One of the things that I heard Benny, I said, okay, that's an unusual name. I looked it up. Benny is also can be used as a slang term for long-term residents, specifically long-term New York and New Jersey residents, who folks who visit the New Jersey shore, who are loud with their money and their riches, kind of like new money. Okay, they're very flamboyant with what they have and what they wear to showcase that they have a lot of money. Okay. The places that I heard was Illinois, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, DC, Maryland, Virginia, and Cali. Now, what I'm going to share another component to move that dough, moving money, was Spirit. I came across this timeline, I believe, on IG, where someone was sharing about owning, creating a business, creating an LLC, and then creating an employment agreement with themselves. Then let's say the LLC is created internationally, but both is created internationally, right? But the sales that they get from, let's say, the revenue that they get from US sales, US grounds, they would then transfer the money to an offshore account, move that dough, right? And then they would take the money out of an offshore account and pay themselves. They can pay themselves up to $10K a month, which would average to $120K a year. Now, all of this is legal to be able to gain tax benefits. All of this is legal, but what Spirit was telling me was this is how these folks were engaging in fraudulent activity. by setting up money laundering, I'm hearing, by setting up these fictitious business names and business fronts and creating them in internationally while having US sales revenue, and then transferring that money to an offshore account and then deducting that money from that offshore account and paying themselves. Spirit was telling me how I get tied into this is Spirit was telling me this is how a business was created in my likeness with my personal information. And I was a person that was getting paid as an employee, but I had no knowledge this was being done to me, done on me, done to me, whatever. They had my personal information through hacking. They had documents. Fake IDs was created in my likeness. But I was told that there were faulty businesses that were being done and the money was coming in, and then they would transfer the money over internationally, deduct the money, from international and bring it back to get paid while they live in the US to take advantage of the tax benefits. Meanwhile, this business, how it was created, was like under my likeness or my name. So if shit hits the fan, guess what? Who's going to be faulted for it? Me. So Spirit had showed me that I'm not the only person that they were doing this to, but apparently this shit was done to me. Supposedly I'm getting paid boku money as an employee of my own business, and I'm like, where? Where? You know what I'm saying? So this was something Spirit had divulged to me like recently. Okay. The other part is car auto loans. So apparently I was getting mail from a credit union that I had no knowledge of, that I did not create accounts for. And I was told that there was an account that was created in my name. And they had a bank teller on payroll, on the Gangstalking payroll. And basically somebody came in with my likeness as far as like a fictitious ID and applied for a car loan. Got approved and accepted. They have a bank teller that's on their payroll who is, I guess, approving them and then being able to cash a check. When they go ahead, that person cashes a check of whomever came in with my ID or likeness, right? To cash a check that was drawn on their bank, they get that money cashed out. You know what I'm saying? Let's say they went ahead and applied for a 20,000 auto loan. Now, these folks had no intention of using that money for a car, but they're using my likeness to create an account at this particular credit union or bank institution, whatever. And then they are trying to see if I can get approved for a car loan, whether it's by way of a CPN number, right? Or under my business name or account. Why one of those two? Because it takes longer as opposed to you using your personal information to track down fraudulent activity. Okay, so they're doing that. Then they go in, they ask their teller, okay, this person has been approved, like under their business name or under a business name, likeness, whatever. And then the person prints a check that is on the credit, under the credit union's name, and then cashes the check, right, for the person that's coming in that presents the check to cash it. And now they have they're $20,000 richer. So then everybody involved in this fuckery, fakery, and foolery gets a cut. There's no intention to pay back this car loan. This car loan is, again, under my likeness, my name, my business name, what have you. So if anything hits the fan, who's at fault? Yet I have no knowledge of it because I'm living my best life. Spirit just went ahead and shared with me that this is the shit that has been going on as it relates to me specifically. And I'm not the only person that this has been done to and or is being done to. Okay, so that's another reason why I'm sharing. And this is another example of move that dough. Okay. Now, the last part of it is Spirit informed me that I had received court documents in my name sent to my address, but the apartment number was off. Now, the apartment number reflected a different neighbor who's in my apartment building and connected to the gang stalking. Like they're on their payroll too. Okay. And so they know this and they're expecting this. And the letter has my name, has my address, but has their apartment number. But because they're aware of all of the details, they don't give a shit. They get my mail and then they give it off to the person who's doing the gang stalking. And so that's how I have no knowledge of any type of communications from the courts. Okay. Now, relating to trust, property, money that was left to me, all that. I have no knowledge. My neighbors know more of my information than I do. Okay, so Spirit had informed me of that. Now, the last part is to wrap this up. These folks have astrologers on payroll, tarot card readers on payroll, oracle readers, whatever, on payroll. So they know what's coming down the pipeline for them as far as like in the near future. And so what they do to try to delay or circumvent that is this is where energy harvesting, siphoning, and harnessing comes into play, where the whole destiny swapping is, so that they are offsetting their karma. Okay, so that either, and of course on top of that, doing spell work, right? Spell work to glamour, magic, I don't know, whatever name that they have, right? To either delay the final ruling or sentencing as it relates to their case, or just reverse it, like a complete change around. And so what they're doing, especially because we are, what is it, in August, and it's the 8/8 portal, and y'all, they're doing all of this ritual ceremonial work, and they are doing a lot of attempts specifically as it relates to sex magic, lust magic, in order to drain, harvest, harness, and siphon energy of elect ones, divine ones, and chosen ones, okay, in attempts to offset their karma. So I'm sharing this with you so that you guys can be mindful and level up your protection. Okay, so I hope that helps. That wraps up my video. And until the next one, y'all, I'm out. Either way, oh, one other thing. One thing I will say that these karmics have taught me when it comes to my spiritual business and practices, there's no days off as it comes to your protection work. No days off. Because they're on it every day, all day. So if anything, if that taught me was just like, I need to be on my shit just as much as they're on theirs. Okay. And I'm just sharing that with you because they tried your girl. They tried to, what they do? Astral project, dream invasion by way of sex magic and lust magic, y'all. Okay. So stay protected and do what y'all need to do. All right. So with that, I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.